The town inside me and everyone's voice. Only I'm not there, just watching from afar. I can't go home because I'm afraid that something will change. Me without me, I'm the one to blame.
Hello everybody. Sorry it's been a bit. Today we will be going over a locals report, the deck list, and a deck breakdown for my second place victory at a locals. Which, hey, I have never gotten as high as second before, so I'm feeling confident. This is the list I brought, card for card. So obviously, as you can tell, it's a Traptrix list. Some quick explanations as well, but first things first, this is a pretty budget-friendly list. Especially, I would say it does help if you already own Zeus, and Goddess and IP could be switched around. But I found myself using every card. Cowboy helped me in a close one that was going to time. Redoer was my main two, and very combo heavy hands. I would say honestly the only one I've never summoned was Zeus. I only summoned Zeus once. But I don't want to cut Zeus because I think having the option of a board wipe if needed, especially with 3 Dark Ruler in the side for now, is a really good card. IP, in my opinion, IP Goddess is probably one of the most underrated tech for Traptrix in particular. Because here's the thing. If you used up Sarah, so let's say you use both of Sarah's effect, and you also your opponent is getting ready to go to battle phase, you can just IP into Adipus, and then Adipus not only will be 28, but also card effect protected, and if you had the field spell, battle protected. Or, because how much Traptrix swarms, summoning IP also just lets you go into Goddess pretty easy to remove hard out bosses. Okay, now for explaining. So, first things first, I'm running, yes, you do see that right, I am running 4 Kaijus in main. I'm running 2 Sticky and 2 Gamciel. They come up. Traptrix does not have much going second, and I don't think Evenly is that good personally this format. I think it's alright in the side as it helps out with cash, branded, but like, it does not help against Super Heavy Samurai. It does not help against Purely. So you really want something that can just hard to out bosses, or hard out critical bosses. Gamciel I picked because, lowest attack Kaiju. And then Sticky Kamungus I picked because, as you can see with Adipus, once per turn, target face-up cards up to the number of insect and plants. There's only 2 insects Kaijus, that being Among Us and Godarla, which I will get more into Godarla later, but also being Earth Attribute helps if you need to summon it on your side of the field, which I have done plenty of times, actually. I would say Kamungus helped a lot this finals. Like, I give my wins to Kamungus. Kamungus helped out a Quem, which I was able to hand trap branded, and that player ended on Quem pass. Also, real quick, shout out to Team Beige and all the people who are my friends who went to that locals that night. It was such a blast, and Team Beige, their representative, is such a great person. I would say besides that, most of this is normal. Only reason I did 2 Droll instead of 3 Droll is because I don't own 3 Droll at the time. I picked up my 3rd copy afterwards when someone bought a box of Tactical Masters. So when we get to the edits in the end, that is one of the edits that happened. Besides that, 3 Ash, 3 Pudica to search the field spell. You really want to open Pudica because Pudica plus Mantis or Murmello is massive. 3 Exceed. I usually find myself siding out 1 to 2 Exceeds going second. I would say like they're really good going first, but going second is very much a win more card. It's or a card that very easily just does nothing, so they're very good side targets. I would say like these first cards are some of the easiest side targets. Besides that, most of this seems standard. I'm running 1 bottomless specifically for Albaz, but also just in general, you never know when you just need to banish higher attack monsters. Floodgate for Kashtira, and actually and Purely. It works well if you stop Purely early by flipping down Plumps. I'm running 2 Grave Diggers instead of 1 personally. I find 2 to actually be better, because you want 1 to stop any potential major hand trap like Nib, and you want the other on your opponent's turn. A lot of decks right now are either using effects that are in while banished, or using effects in hand, and having the ability to negate those or even stop a Gamma. Even though Gamma can reactivate later, stopping Gamma once is usually enough if you really need to. 3 Imperm, 1 Terrifying, and 1 Trap Hole Nightmare. I will say the holes are cut whenever I go second. These cards are the ones I usually start cutting when I go first. Now, to extra, as I said, pretty standard. I want to make a few changes. I want to go heavier on links. I want to get... So, I don't own Jasmines yet. If I owned a Jasmine, I'd probably cut 1 Pingella for Jasmine. And then I'd probably cut either Zeus or Alamaris, because these two come up the least. For Strenna, and then Hyperton. I really want to run the Jasmine Strenna Hyperton package, but I just don't have the money for Jasmine right now. Now the side. 3 Solemn for going first. I got a funny story for that later. Then we have 3 Evenly Matched. We have 3 D-Barrier, 2 Cosmic for specifically Runic and Labyrinth. 3 Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More and Evenly is a massive win. Like, if you opened both of these going second, you can break most boards besides Purely. And Pank. I actually found myself really liking Pank in testing. I never drew Pank all night, so it didn't came up, sadly. But Pank is probably the single biggest card that you can draw going second, because Pank either gets 2 removal, or Pank gets... So either Pank deals with 2 interactions, or Pank is removal. Because you summon Pank, you attempt to pop something. If they negate it, well, you just burn through one of their negates, or you could just beat over things. Pank's 26 really helps in this deck. Okay. Now, for the actual report on what happened. So, round 1 was a bye. I just sat there, texted on my phone, chilled. I looked at everyone else was playing, kind of scoped out what was happening out of boredom. But besides that, overall, round 1 was nothing. I just chilled. Now, round 2 went against a good friend of mine playing Branded. And oh boy, that was a fun one. So, if you don't follow me on Twitter, which I recommend you at DeltaV3, I won 2-0, but it was close. So, game 1, I went second. I opened Kumungus, Murmello, and then Kumungus, Murmello, Ash, Imperm, and 1 other card. I was able to Ash their Branded Fusion. They didn't really have much follow-up besides special summoning Quem and passing with set... I think it was set opening, if I recall. So, what I did... Ash and Branded Fusion still busted, by the way. I love it. I love Ashing Branded Fusion. So, for those who don't know, let me pull her up. Is she just... There we go. Guiding Quem the Virtuous. If this card is normal summon, you can send a fallen Albaz. We had Albaz in Grave, which is another thing. If a card leaves the extra deck, you can target one fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, special summon it. As you know, just Link summoning Sarah would have caused that. So I knew I could not Link summon Sarah. So what I did is I normaled my Traptrix monster, waited for a response, and then I sticky kaiju'd the Quem away, leaving his field to be just Kaiju and Branded Opening. I was able to pop off, ended up winning. Go game 2. I sided in Dark Rulers and Evenleys, getting ready to go second. And this person, again, let's just call this person Albaz for say, like, basically, not to just say the name of people, especially people I know, so things don't happen. Yeah, Albaz made me go first. I was like, fuck. I was excited, ready to go second. I was like, oh no. I'm going first. This ain't working. This ain't gonna work. Luckily, only going second card I drew was Gamseo. So I was able to combo, pass. Like, I basically drew all engine, Ash, Gamseo. I just kept doing the classic Traptrix combo of summon Sarah, Sarah's effect on their turn, summon out one of the little monsters, use their effect, use that to trigger Sarah, set a card, keep going. We're running in time. I even used Redoer for some burn. I will admit, I did not know he played the Golden Sword Soul and just kept trying to stall me out. So I was luckily able. I don't know much, but I do remember I got an IP protected Adipus, my own sticky Kaiju, and Mermello on the field. So he stopped. He negated the attack of Adipus. So he just beat over with Kaiju, beat over with Mermello. And from there, while I missed lethal that turn, I basically was one more turn from lethal. He was on top deck mode. It was very close. It was one of those, we kept trying to break each other's board. And if it wasn't for the fact that I just hit the right choke points and broke his board better than he was breaking mine, then it easily could have flipped and I would have lost game 2. But yes, round 2, 2-0 branded, was probably one of the most fun matches I had that night. One of the most intense, one of the most skill-based. I don't want to come out off arrogant saying I was just better. It really was one of those moments where we were playing to our heart's content, and we just both kept going over and over trying to break each other's board. Hell, I cowboyed too early. I thought the time was 5 minutes left. We had 15 minutes left, so I made Cowboy, so I had to use Cowboy for Goddess. So yeah, summoning Goddess. Oh, Goddess was a big help as well, especially being just how big 3000 attack is. It helps so much with that big attack. But yeah, I have to say, round 2, one of the most fun matches. Albaz, you know who you are. You know who you actually are. Thank you for such a fun game. Such a fun round. Those 2 duels were some of the most fun I had. Game 3. Round 3. Dark Worlds. Oh boy. I am not happy about Dark Worlds right now. I won 2-1 against Dark Worlds, I shall say. Game 1, minor Chetan incident. The person forgot he was under Dugares and drew on follow-up. Thing is, turn 1, I opened Sticky Kaiju again. So again, Kumongus came big all that local. I kept opening Kumongus when I needed him. Kumongus came up, and it was one of those, yes, I am playing. They were just learning Dark World, so I'm not holding it too hard against them. But they kept cycling, and it just ended on a format Apo pass. I think it was Apo Imperm pass. I was like, okay. Because they won the dice roll, so I was like, yeah, okay. So, just Traptrix combo, Kaiju off, set up an unbreakable field, remove my own Kaiju, leave them on basically just nothing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty set right now. I am, I have Sarah, I had Rafflesia, I had Redoer. Then his turn, he tries for a bit, realizes he doesn't have any way to break my board. It's like, okay, game 2. Game 2 was hell. He didn't Silva loop me. I did not get Silva looped. But he just kept looping. Like, to give it context, it was 29 minutes on the clock when we started game 2. His first turn took him down 11 plus minutes. He had an 11 plus minute turn. I was literally about to be like, hey, if you continue this, I am going to call a judge for slow play. Like, he literally, for most of the turn, he did nothing but just draw. Constant cyclings of gates, constant draws, dangers over and over. One of those, it didn't even end on 2 formidable board. It was Apo, Grapha, set 2 pass. But I just didn't have the things to break it. So as soon as I started my turn, I was like, no, if I try to break this, we're going to go into time. Game 3. Yeah, I only saw 1 Kaiju. I didn't see any of my Dark Rulers. Didn't see any of my Evenlies. I'm like, I need these cards. If I open Dark Ruler evenly, I won. I also was down life points already because of the fucking coach trainer, whatever it's called. This fucker. He went through all 3 activations, burnt me twice with it. I was like, yeah, what the fuck? It was sheer agony. Game 2, sided in, brought in the judgments, didn't bring in the D barriers. Just brought in everything I could, set up the board. It was pretty unbreakable. I think if I recall, it was Redoer, Rafflesia, Sarah, IP. So, he was scared of my Xyz. He opened Lava Golem. Removed my Xyz with Lava Golem. I was like, okay. I used IP, Sarah, who was about to be destroyed. I forget. It was Danger Bigfoot. So, IP, Sarah, and Lava Golem. I linked all 3 away for Adipus. So, hey, smart play on my end. Not losing in time. He used Grapha's effect to destroy, forgetting about IP's protection. So I was like, hey, so he's like, yeah, target So he said, yeah, Grapha, target Adipus. I said, okay. IP protected. He tried to ask me to pull back the target. I said, no, you already declared your target. I'm not letting you change targets. I had Mermello out, and I basically just broke his board. He gave up 1. So, technically, a bye is a win. 3 wins in, feeling pretty well. What can go wrong? Oh, what can go wrong? What can go wrong? Well, a lot, apparently. I went up against Team Beige's very own Marty on Super Heavy Samurai. Now, I'm just going to say right now, actually, Marty's a really awesome guy, fun person, love whenever we talk to each other. But he knows my deck. He knows Traptrix very well. He knows my exact list. He knows me. He knows play, he knows he knows some of the things I usually go for and don't go for. So, yeah. But I don't know Super Heavy Samurai that well. I stopped playing during Hypernova format because of school, and I just got back in Syac format. So I don't know the Super Heavy Samurai choke points. So, game 1, I go first. We did a low roll. I got the lowest roll, Snake Eyes. I set up a pretty alright board. I have some sets. I have Sarah. I think I had Sarah Rafflesia. I had, an Imperm. I got Hand Trapped. I got Ghost Ogred. I got Ghost Mournered. He just kept playing. And then he summoned out this card. He summoned out Access Code. Popped my board. Holy hell. Soul Piercer is not a once per turn. Soul Piercer. Fuck this card. But yeah. Brave plus Access Code is basically game. But in fact, I opened this card in one of my second place packs. Then, game 2, I decided to go. I didn't want to go first again. My hand was horrible, but it was funny. This is the Solemn Judgment incident. I opened Judgment, Floodgate, Pudica, normal Pudica, no effect. Because I'm afraid of Gamma, and I do not want my Pudica to get Gamma'd. Link off Pudica for Sarah. Set 4. Pass. Oh, you're using Wakaushi's effect? Judgment. Oh, you summoned monsters? Floodgate. Draw for turn. Open Cyclone. Okay. You scale Wakaushi? Cyclone your Wakaushi. I kind of shotgun Cyclone a little too early. Should have waited on Cyclone. But, yeah. I shotgunned Cyclone way too early. But I still had 2 more judgments. Oh, is that? You're trying to build your board? No. I'm at 750 life points. But he didn't have any monsters he can summon. Pass turn. Sarah. Poke. Draw another trap. Pass turn. I bottomless to summon. Pass his turn. Sarah. Poke. I won with Sarah beat down, basically, because of how bad it got. 3 solemn judgments on Super Heavy Samurai is apparently enough to just make the deck crumble to losing to Sarah beat. It was funny. Then game 3, I opened pretty well. I opened Dark Ruler, I opened, I think it was Humongous, and then I opened All Engine, and he was going off, and Dissipator plus Omega, fuck that combo. Dissipator, bring back Omega, loop. So he ended up setting Regulus, another, I think it was Regulus, Baron. Yeah, like, he went off. I would say Marty played out of his mind game 3. Regulus, it was Regulus, Baron, Dissipator, and I got Omega looped for 2. One of those being my Dark Ruler. I was really hoping he wouldn't hit my Dark Ruler. But he hit Dark Ruler. I'm like, I only have one Kaiju, all engine. You just negate one thing. And I opened evenly. So it's like, you just negate evenly. I had no plays. I just gave up. Final round. Lost 1-2. But because I went up against someone who's a much higher seed than me for my finale, I was just able to make it with a 3-1 record to second place. Now, second place, honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. First time I ever got it's been months since I made top cut of a local, and this is the first time I've ever passed even top 4. Last time they did a top cut, it was a top 6, and I was number 6. This was a different locals. So, that's the deck. That's the deck breakdown. I mean, if you want to see a combo, like, here's a quick, yeah, like, you just go, wee, effect, I don't know, I guess we'll add Mermello. Actually, in this hand, I normally actually would go, boom, Sarah effect. Oh, this hand's actually pretty bad. Yeah. Like, honestly, this is alright. But normally I'm able to get out, like, another one if I open better. Like, surprisingly, I've never opened 2 Gaijus all day. That being said, time to make changes. So, I'm still going to tinker, but I think this is going to be the changes I'm going to be making for the next time I go to locals, which is going to be a bit, but these are probably going to be my changes. I'm going to move 2 Dark Ruler to main. One more, and then 2 more Kaijus. We'll remove the final Dark Ruler, and we'll play 3 Nib in the side. Like, look at this. The thing about Traptrix is you really want to live and keep going. And that's what this deck allows you to do. And then normally I'd go, okay, make Redoer. Summon Campa. Like, this is the default board, I would say. Sarah, Rafflesia, Redoer. And you usually want to use Redoer at a good time. But now, when my board breaks, I have Dark Ruler. Plus, the other thing about Redoer. Put that to the top of the deck. Now I can activate Holtea. And now I even do stuff like banish to summon. Like, it gives me more options, and now I don't have to worry about things like Super Heavy Samurai because I can just Dark Ruler their board. So, that's the plan changes. It's basically to make Traptrix more reactive, and honestly, I don't mind going to 44. I might even cut one Exceed, maybe. But opening these work well with Adipus, these are lower, this kind of works well with Adipus. This is all engine. Also, Veiler is going to get replaced with Droll. One more Droll. Because we're in Droll format, baby. And then just a nice suite of traps. And then I can side things in and out. This is the changes I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking of doing. And so, wish me luck next time. Thank you all for staying for my locals report and deck breakdown. And I'll see y'all later. See you later, everyone. Goodbye.
Down inside me, and everyone